I'm pretty sure you know why we're here based on the title and thumbnail of this video. Oh, I also got a haircut from the last time. We're here to do an oil change on this hair 2006 Honda Pilot. I'm going to show you where to jack it up from, where to put the jack stands. The oil viscosity that I'm using is not recommended by the recommended viscosity is 5W20. I'm using 5W30. I just always use 5W30 in anything that requires 5W20, and it works out pretty well. But that's besides the point. But yeah, I'll show you the jack spots, jack points, jack stand spots, the what's the word? Socket size or oil filter location, all of that. So let me get this jacked up real quick and I will show you that now. Oh, also forgot to mention wheel chocks. Wheel chocks are your friend right there. So yeah, chalk it up right there. Then the spot to jack it up from, you see where that is? There's a piece of metal touching that. You're gonna jack it up from there, and then let me show you where I put the jack stands. Okay, so I showed you where the jack stand, sorry, not the jack stand, the jack goes. This is where the jack stand goes, right there. This little metal piece is literally right behind the tire. And then I'm gonna go do the same thing on the other side. I'll show you that real quick. There we go. This is the other side. So as you can see, they are aligned on both sides, right here. You're gonna lower the jack down very slowly and it'll just sit in that crevice right there. Now that you know where to jack it up from and where to put the jack stands, let me show you everything you're gonna need in order to complete an oil change on a 2006 Honda Pilot. I'm pretty sure this goes to, I think, 2006 to 2010. I'll double check and have it accurate in the title. Normally I use that thing over there as my workbench, but the Miata was closer. So, as I stated previously, you're gonna need a jack stands, and wheel chocks. That's all like universal stuff. Oh, also a drain pan. Now, what you specifically need for the Pilot is 5W20 or 5W30. Recommended is 5W20, but I use 5W30 in almost everything that requires 5W20, and I have not had a single issue. I prefer Valvoline. This thing has 230 something thousand miles, so I'm using the high mileage full synthetic. I personally, I just use the STP and I just change the oil every like 3,000. Honestly, with this car, especially since I'll check the oil at 3,000, but I'm probably going to do a 5,000 interval, but I'll double check. Then you're going to need an oil filter wrench if you are, what is it called? Muscularly challenged like I am. It'll help a lot. Ratchet, breaker bar, like I said, if you're going to be muscularly challenged like I am. And then it takes a 17. I'm going to use a deep socket. Where is it? There. I'm going to use a deep socket 17. And then I'll go underneath. I'll go underneath the car. I'll show you where the drain bolt is. And I'll show you where the oil filter is. Give me 1 second. Also forgot to mention, if you have a creeper, that'll be very helpful. You can just roll around underneath there. You don't have to slide on cardboard or on the hard concrete or whatever. But yeah, I have a creeper, so I'm going to use that. Coming from the front of the Pilot, on the passenger side, sorry about my fingers, that says engine oil. Mine is an 18, it should be a 17, but because I bought this thing used, someone replaced it with the wrong one. So just double check the socket size. Okay, now that you have let all the oil drain out, make sure you put the crush washer back on or add a new one. The oil filter is going to be to the right of it, right? I can't see it. Here we go. Right there. See that white? That's the oil filter. Because I am muscularly challenged, I'm going to be using an oil filter wrench and an extension. What I'm saying in this clip is that because the previous owner either didn't maintain their vehicle properly and just left the oil filter on forever, or they took it to a shop and they did not change the oil filter, or they tightened it way too much. Even with the oil filter wrench, it did not work. Neither did it work with my dad's strength. So, you know what? I'll let the rest of the video go on. I apologize for the terrible lighting. However, this took way, way longer than it should have. The previous owner decided to just never change the oil filter, so it took So I took my dad's strength. It took, what else did it take? A screwdriver, a mallet, open-ended wrench, and about like 2 hours, 2.5 hours of just wrenching on that piece of crap. So it's off now. New one's on. I'm in the car right now. If all you needed to know was about the oil change, you can end the video right here. However, if you're interested in the rest of this pilot, stay tuned. Because this video couldn't have gone any more freaking worse, my mic decided to stop working while recording and I didn't realize it. So what I'm saying in this clip is I also forgot to mention that I had the oil sticker. You should use that. It'll help you remember when to do your oil change next. In this last little bit, the end of the video, I'm explaining to you guys that if you haven't seen the first video on this pilot, you should go check it out. And everything that I need to get done to get it to where I can drive it, a daily driver, and it'll be safe, is I have to clean the interior and the exterior. I need to get brakes done all around. I have to do the brake fluid flush as well, which that I can do that while I'm doing the brakes. I also need all four new tires. I also need to sand the headlights because they are terrible and they are oxidized. That will be in the next video, along with all the stuff that I'm talking about. And then it also needs a new driver side turn signal because it's currently hyper flashing. But other than that, I hope you enjoyed this catastrophe of a video. If you did, please leave a like. If you didn't, please leave a like anyway because this was a rough one. Coming from the front of the pilot, where is it? Now that I have gotten the oil filter off, well, not me, my father has gotten the oil filter off, I can finally refill the oil. It takes 4.5 quarts, so I'm going to do that. And then you check the oil, and then you make sure that the oil level is good. And then also I have a little sticker. But because it's 8:50 and I'm pretty sure I started this at like 5, I'm not going to show that. So thanks for watching, and I hope you guys enjoyed.